Hey there, Sank, everybody. Welcome back for another amazing episode of the Marhaba Crypto Show. The first thing I said to Moby was, I missed you, man. There's been some time. So, welcome. The show is going on. We're having new episodes, and I'm really excited for this one because this is after the crash has happened. There's a lot of changes that are happening. We're feeling the changes. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about what's going on with the markets. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Marhaba. But before all that, Moby, what's going on? How are the kangaroos? Are they hopping? Are they not crying because of the
Yeah,
situation? What's going
some of
on?
them are. Depends on what they've invested in, but yeah, some of them are. So
Fair enough.
obviously we're here to talk about that. What's going well, what's not going well, but yeah, everything seems to be good. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. All right, let's get this thing started. Moby, what's going on with the market? Where are we? Why is Bitcoin not $1 million yet?
Yeah, awesome. So I'll get straight into it because I know there's some comments and stuff that you're talking about before the show in terms of opportunities. So we'll definitely leave some time for that. But if I go ahead and share my screen. All right, that should be up there. All right, fantastic. Okay, cool. So, crypto, right? So there's been a couple of movements, really, really exciting movements in the last couple of days. Right now, we are sitting at total crypto market cap of $930 million. Now, the next support point is, so you can see here, we're sort of doing this. If I zoom in a little bit, we're doing this. We're playing on this line, and we have been doing so for the last couple of
Nice.
weeks. The next support point, also we're above the 21-day moving average. RSI is falling into bullish territory right now. So it's looking quite healthy, but there's technical and fundamentals, right? We're going to talk about both of them today. So this is looking well. If we lose this, then the next drop point is to $6.4 billion, which is another 30% drop. So whether or not we get to, I can't remember. I have to go back to my notes. I might talk about it in the next episode, but there was a point where we fell and I said, look, this might only be 50% of the way. Whether or not that happens or not, that remains to be seen, but there's still movement sort of either way. Now, how will we actually know? Like, how will we know whether there's that risk? Well, it all depends on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin needs to move beyond 21,700. If it can stay above 21,700, then we are looking quite healthy. But if it doesn't, and right now we're sitting at 21,000 right now. We've still got another day or so before the week closes. But if it doesn't hold that, then there's definitely a risk of another leg down. So 22,000 does seem to be really significant resistance right now. So that's a very, very key thing that we're sort of looking at right now. Your comments on that, but just before I move off to Ethereum.
Yeah, the patterns for like charting patterns. If you zoom into the last, yeah, exactly, it's showing some signs with obviously the technicals of it going up, and just showing that rally. So there's some signs of something good happening, but with the way that the financial markets are performing outside of crypto, I don't know. I'm a little bit cautious of the cost of borrowing, what's happening with gold, what's happening with stocks, and seeing, because money's always going to be moved around, but it's about where is it moving. Is it going to be moving to crypto, or is it going to be moving to the other markets first? And or is it time that after Bitcoin goes down a little bit, all the money gets moved to Ethereum and then stable coins? So are we going back into it, or are we going to still keep it at Ethereum and stuff like that? So it's an interesting
So,
time.
I mean, I always sort of say, like, we can't get too excited either way, right? We have a couple
Yeah,
of rallies.
yeah.
Yay, everyone forgets, like, oh, wow, 1,200, for Ethereum. But, I remember when we were talking about keeping 2,000 and we lost 2,000. But, speaking of Ethereum, like, when you look at the total, I'm just on Coin Market Cap right now,
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum beat literally the top 20 of all cryptos. So we're
Mm-hmm.
well, forget
Yeah.
1,200, we're at 1,350. So it actually, at one point, it was 13% above the previous day. But literally the top 20, it's beat out everyone right now. We'll talk about
Mm-hmm.
exactly why. But in terms of going straight to the chart, now this is kind of very similar to the Bitcoin chart as well. We've just been playing this horizontal consolidation game, but we've broken throughout that level. Now, this level here, this 1150 level here, that's a level that we've been watching for a few weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
Because anything, if we lost 1150, then there's a big risk of falling down to 1,000. as a side note, I'll just sort of say, because I've heard this in some groups I'm in, people like, oh, I can't wait till it falls back at below 1,000 and I can buy some Ethereum. But when it was at 700, when it was at 800, people were freaking out. So it's very
Mm-hmm.
to say that, when the market's kind of pumping, oh, I missed out, I can't wait till it falls back. Don't wait for those opportunities. That's why you DCA. And that's why I talk about the fact that, okay, even if you're not going to DCA at the level you do, just drop that by half. So at least you're playing in the game. At least you're putting
Mm-hmm.
something on the loose. So don't be one of those, oh, I'm going to wait till it falls back below 1,000, because it may or may not. I'm going to talk about some factors that may induce that to happen, but it might
Mm-hmm.
not. And then you'll get to 1,500 and 1,700, and then you'll be licking your wounds there. But this here, when we look at the chart right now, so it's bouncing off the 21-day moving average, this blue line here. RSI is actually in the positive. It's above that 50 level, which is really, really good. And also, I always like the rule of three, like three indicators, right? Also
Mm-hmm.
here, there is what they call a bullish exaggerated divergence as well. So where the RSI is higher lows, and where the cost or the price is remaining stable, so that you could call that stable there. So there's three really good factors right now, but this is just trading. I'm just
Yeah.
talking trading language for a moment, right? This doesn't mean that it's not going to crash, but what it does look like is, it's looking quite healthy if you're already in a trading play right now. That
Mm-hmm.
1200 level, I'll just touch on that before I move off of it. It is a very, very important level. That level was the high of the 2018. So, when you hear people talk about 1200 and we have to keep that, beat that, that's why it's very important, because it goes back, 4 years or so.
Yeah.
Now, where can we look to right now? So if sort of trend continues and we close the week, if I might go on the week chart for a moment. If we close the week above that level, above 1200 or so, the next resistance point is what did I have here? 1390, which honestly I think there's a big shot. We're only $40 away. The next level above that is 1500. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why I'm sort of saying like DCAing is very important. Again, this is a little bit of trader talk, but there's still a scary liquidity monster out there known as Celsius, and that's what I was talking about earlier. So Celsius right now could not only tank. When I say tank, I think the worst moves are behind us, because we were dropping quite a lot last couple of weeks. I think the market's priced it in, but there are a
Mm-hmm.
number of liquidity events that are still possible there, and Celsius is one of those.
Yeah.
So how can Celsius take down crypto, or specifically Ethereum? Well, just to go back half a step for anyone who hasn't been watching this, Celsius recently filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and that's confirmed a $1.2 billion hole in their balance sheet. So essentially what they've done is they've paid off all their loans, or not all their loans, many as they can, to get back their liquidity. Even still, there is still a $1 billion gap. So they've got $4.3 billion worth of assets, but they still owe creditors $5.5 billion. Now, funnily enough, this kind of makes a lot of sense. We spoke about this many episodes ago about FTX, potentially buying Celsius, and then they walked away. So a lot of people think this is the reason why. And it makes sense now. They couldn't say it before, but there was a lot of rumors. This kind of confirms why Sam Bankman-Fried walked away, because at the time there was a $2 billion hole between their balance sheet. So this is quite interesting. So, and there's a whole bunch of information around their balance sheet. So the question sort of remains, if you haven't sort of seen this before, an obvious question is why they're paying, if they're filing for bankruptcy, why they're actually paying back as many loans as they can. Well, they don't want another Sam Bankman-Fried to walk away from a deal. So they're looking to offset this business and sell it for whatever they can. Now, when they do
Mm-hmm.
that, an asset is only worth an asset if it's liquid. So this
Yeah.
is, it's not confirmed, or it's not guaranteed, but now that they've actually, I think they hold 10% actually. They hold 10%. Yeah, here, I've got it here. They hold 10% of the staked ETH supply. So for those of you who don't know, if you stake ETH, you give your Ethereum, you get back in return staked ETH, ST ETH. So
Mm-hmm.
now that they've reclaimed almost $500 million of staked ETH in their path to paying off Aave, if Ethereum goes up, say goes up to 1,500, goes up to 1,600, and Celsius can actually reduce their balance sheet more, of course they're going to sell it, Just like you and I, some of us like, oh, I wish I sold some of my Ethereum at 2K so I could buy in lower. They're thinking the same thing, just at a
Hmm.
higher level. So that is still out there, and that's okay. That's why DCAing investing less than you can afford to lose is really, really healthy. But that's something to think about. Now, that everything kind of works in tandem. There's not one thing on its own. It's not just the chart. It's not just Celsius. It's not just other strong fundamentals, but everything works together. So why did Ethereum jump 8 to 10, 12, 13%, depending on, when you sort of chart that? Well, the latest shadow fork went live, and now Ethereum has another date, another go live date, which is September the 19th. So Ethereum has a number of test nets that it actually deploys the merge on first, and the latest one has gone live. The ninth one, I didn't have time before this. I need to figure out how many left. All I sort of found was it's one of the last ones, but
Hmm.
it's like level 9. Like, dude, when did they stop? You know what I mean? It's part of the process, but apparently it's one of
Yeah.
the final ones before the go live. And even Ethereum, the foundation, they're not saying that this is final. They're saying this is sort of proposed, but look towards any official, timelines from the Ethereum Foundation. But if it moves, don't be surprised if it moves again. Now, last couple of ones, really, really quickly. Some other fundamental bullish news came out. Polygon, right? So Polygon has been chosen to participate in Disney's accelerator program. So that
Yes. Yeah.
accelerator program is a scheme that allows them to develop technology with a focus on immersive experiences, NFTs, AR, AI, that type of thing. Now, the one of the questions, if you haven't been in space for longer than 3-4 months, an obvious question that arises is why? Why Matic, right? Matic is obviously a layer 2 on Ethereum. It's not even the most robust. It doesn't even have the most features. It doesn't even have its own NFT ecosystem. Why? Well, Ahmed, you and I have spoken about this previously last year. These big brands like, Disney, they're not going to risk it on Flow. They're not going to probably even risk it on Avalanche. They need solid
Yeah.
fundamentals. They need security. It's the biggest, it's the baddest, it's been around, it's slow and expensive, but it's secure. It's
Yep.
decentralized is such a funny word in our industry because so many things are not decentralized, but it's as close as we can get to. So these guys take safe bets. And this is actually a really, really big deal. Like, they're actually going to be investing. That will provide investment capital to Polygon as well. And of course, they rose 11%, up 46% this month. So really, really bullish things. Now, in terms of Matic, because the next obvious question is, oh, when should I buy? When should I buy? Well, by the time you and I are thinking I should buy, and this is why everyone's like, oh, every time I buy, it goes down afterwards. Because the point is, you're buying off bullish news like this. The point is, you're buying after a move. If you don't understand, that's why it's important to understand. I think, in my opinion, charting just a little bit, even if you're an investor, because you look at Matic right now, it's in oversold territory. The RSI, can see here, it's above that dotted line. It's oversold territory. It's clearly bounced off the 21-day moving average. Does that mean you shouldn't buy it? No, I'm not saying you shouldn't buy it. But what I would do is, right now, I would probably wait for a bounce off of that 21-day EMA, which is around 55 cents, as we're around 71, 72 cents right now. Not financial advice, not even something I'm looking to do, but that's how I would answer, should I buy, Matic. Obviously, if you believe in the project, you think it's got strong fundamentals, then that would be my answer to you. Now, the last thing I'll sort of talk about really quickly, and you could almost place bets on what I'm going to talk about if I haven't spoken about it, is Avax, right? So the reason why I'm talking about Avax is I look at correlations. So what moved with the recent Ethereum move? So an obvious answer would be layer ones. So if you look at Solana, yeah, it moved, but not like Avax, right? So if you're looking at like an 8%, 9%, 10% move on Ethereum, the next closest one was Avalanche. At one point, it was 8-9%, a lot higher. So it's highly correlated to Ethereum as well. So when you look at something like Avax that has a lower market cap than Solana, obviously a lot lower market cap than Ethereum, and you're looking for moves that will actually generate you more revenue as Ethereum would, then coins like X are not a bad bet to look at. So one of the tools, I've spoken about this tool before, and I'll add an affiliate link in the show notes again, Token Metrics. And what Token Metrics does, it provides you analysis and insight. Now, one of the things that Token Metrics picked up on that I noticed last week, and for me, Avax, honestly, I wasn't looking at this to buy an Avax, because Avax right now is one of the 3 coins I've been DCAing in the bear market. It's been Avax, Helium, and the other one was Avax, Helium, and a little bit of Ethereum as well. So there's 3 things I've been DCAing in during this bear market. But when you look at here, they have what they call let me go back right to the top. They have a grade, and that's have moved from strong sell to neutral. So the grade has gone up. So now what does a grade mean? So let me show you a quick chart here. If I look at the grade, just while I do that, Ahmed, any comments and thoughts on that? Or just
No, I
where I was looking for?
yeah, I would have a similar approach to it also. In regards to what I'm looking at. So, for example, with Polygon, I have to agree with you that it's not as strong as the others. But the issue is that they have a hold and that loyalty that the others don't have yet. And as you can see, with Bitcoin being the first, but Bitcoin not really having a huge usability, but because it's the first, it has that huge hold. And that's the audience that we have in our markets. So it may still be a decent project to look into because of its connection, because of its respect that it has from the community. But I will have to go with you that Av is probably a little bit better, stronger, and a potentially a lot better for the future of investment.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's just secure. It works for them. So one of the things that before I move off of Avalanche, one of the things that the token metric grade looks at, it grades it based on fundamentals. Sorry, not fundamentals. It's really more technicals, and it's actually not bad. Like, this thing isn't a perfect science, but if you look at the yellow line, that is the grade, and then the other line is the price there. So when we were, the grade went from 68 to 19, and the price, the white line, sort of remained the same, and then it kind of tanked off. So it's not always perfect, but I do use this. I don't use this to direct my decisions. I look at the coin, fundamentals, the team, and if I'm looking for a trade, then sure, this will supplement my decision, but it doesn't force my decision. So the last thing I want to draw your eye to, Ahmed, and our viewers, is you can see here the grade of Avalanche has been increasing slightly ever so. And I think part of that is, and this tool does talk about correlations as well, part of that is its correlation with Ethereum, and Ethereum is looking strong. At the same time, if Ethereum tanks and the merge gets pushed back to, I think, the market's kind of used to Ethereum getting delayed. And if it happens in November, I think the market will still forgive it. But if it falls into the next year, then that's going to be pretty bad. That's going to, like, long term, say what you will, but in the short term, that looks pretty bad. And even in the long term, it doesn't show a lot of confidence as well. The other thing with the Avax right now, they have what they call the Avax House, Avalanche House. They have an event. Solana does this as well. A lot of projects do this, and I think it's running right now, actually. So the projects that you like fundamentally, I would recommend follow them on Twitter. That's what I do, and often I get news before it sort of comes out on Decrypt, on Cointelegraph, or CoinDesk, because by that point it's probably a little bit too late. So they're actually bringing in institutional liquid staking. So they reckon it is the first of its kind. So what is liquid staking? Firstly, it's the act of delegating your tokens to a service without losing access to your funds. Because usually when you stake, like you stake Ethereum on Lido, you lose access to your funds. Yes, they give you staked ETH in return, but it's not the same thing. Whereas with institutional liquid staking, you can still use your funds and you can still access them. I'm not condoning it either way. I've never done it. I have not looked at the Sharia compliance. So don't at me. I don't care. All I'm saying is they're releasing things. I don't care right now. That's a mufti sahab job.
I was waiting for those DMs to come in.
Now, because it happens. My job isn't necessarily to show it's halal. Now, if I'm investing in it, because this is something I found today. So once there's interest, and of course, like as a Muslim, as a Muslim and as an investor, it's my job now to research this, to seek knowledge
Yeah.
and to find out. And that's why at Marhaba we have a Sharia board, we have these people. So, you know, obviously we can't answer every single one of your questions to the community,
Mhm.
but, you know, throw them where you can. And, you know, the Mufti Saab, they'll do that research, they'll look into it. All I'm saying is, like, there is things that are happening that will impact the price, you know, things
Mhm.
that are
Mhm.
that don't represent or don't define the token completely. Because if this was the only thing that the token was used for and it wasn't Sharia compliant, which again I actually don't know either way, then of course it would be argued the coin is not Sharia compliant.
Yeah.
But a couple of again, follow them on Twitter yourself. They're even releasing some other features right now called sub EVMs, where you can have an Ethereum virtual machine as a service. Now, you and I don't really care about that, but new projects that are launching or projects that are looking to launch, you know, for them, the ability to have an Ethereum virtual machine out of the box is really, really bullish. And this is probably one of the reasons why it is so correlated to the price of Ethereum. But that's all I had for today. I'm going to turn that off in terms of the market update. Obviously, we didn't talk about, because it's slightly old news now, the CPI inflation rates. And before the show,
Yeah.
you were talking about what you're doing. So that might be a really good segue to discuss that.
Yeah. So before the show, we are just discussing what's going on with interest rates and what's going on with inflation and how we can potentially make income from this crash. Because reality is, moments like this is what builds, people for their wealth. A lot of huge wealth transfer is done during this time. The difference is that the people that have money, they can invest now because they're getting everything as discount. And
Mm.
but we were usually, like, a lot of people were having money due to mortgages or having money due on loans and on interest. And this is one of the reasons why it's important to acknowledge that interest is an issue in society, because it starts making you behave in a way which is actually detrimental to yourself and society. The rich keeps getting richer, which I'm showing you right now, and the poor keeps getting poorer. What I was just talking to Moby. I'm thinking about, because like into real estate and into other things right now, to go into either fractional real estate investing or just general real estate investing, because right now in Canada, few points interest rates are increasing on a monthly basis, and we're already seeing, like, the house that I live in, like all across this road, there's so many houses that just have a for sale sign that's just gone up. And it's because of those guys who picked up those mortgages cannot pay up those variable loan based monthly payments, and so they're just selling. So the supply is increasing, demand is actually going to stay constant or even go down a little bit because people can't afford to pay as much. And so then there's going to be a decrease in the prices of the houses and real estate. And it's not only going to be felt here, it's going to be felt internationally. So um
100%.
there's an opportunity coming, and if you can figure out a way, to start accumulating funds so you can go into something like this, or start accumulating from now for the next crash, so then you can go in whole. Or what I like to do is make micro investments in multiple areas where you can for cheaper real estate. And then when the time comes, when you see the peak, you sell them, hold the cash, or hold it in gold, because gold is liquid and it's very strong and it'll constantly go up, or hold it in crypto, and then when the time comes, you can cash out and get something in real estate. And then you got yourself real estate in a prominent area which you wanted, instead of those, some micro investments here and there. So, and I've talked about this on my personal channel also, and I was just telling that to Moby. Anyway, so there's that. Moby, there's a few other things that I think I can share in regards to how people can take this as an opportunity to make money in even just in crypto world for the future. Second thing is, right now a lot of the miners are going up for sale for cheap, because operationally it is more expensive for Bitcoin miners to run operations. And also a lot of Ethereum miners are closing down because they're going to be moving to proof of staking, and so they're selling off their miners. This is a chance for you to buy these machines for cheaper or normal cost, because these things were like twice as expensive like in the last few months. You buy at normal cost or even cheaper, and you can set them up in your house for not mining Bitcoin or Ethereum, but rather mining tokens which are being neglected, but they have a good future.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
proof of work hasn't finished.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
sorry.
so sorry to interrupt you. The
Yeah,
lag.
it's all
You're
good.
absolutely right. Like people don't realize that Bitcoin proof of work that's not going to go anywhere for forever. Litecoin
Yeah.
as well. Like Litecoin is a huge. Litecoin is used in transactions in South America. It's actually used as currency. In a small setting. That's proof of work as well. So sorry to interrupt you there, but yeah, there are still a lot of very long-term coins that have been around for a long time that are proof of
Hmm.
work that you could mine and sell.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, there's that opportunity. Plus, right now you can look into the real estate stuff, but also you can look into. There's a lot of stocks and cryptos which are cheap right now, like heavy discounts. And I would say, after every crash, 90% of tokens don't exist to for the next bull market, but the 10% that exist are usually linked to some concept of utility, use case, and problem solving, other than Dogecoin and Shiba Inu and these guys, because they somehow survive every time. But
They're
you know,
like cockroaches. They're like cockroaches,
yeah,
Ahmed.
they're like
They don't
cockroaches no
die.
matter what
They
happens.
don't die.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But yeah, so this is something I want to share. What are you doing in this crash? Maybe to maybe save as much as you can, but also maybe potentially make profits.
See, very good question. My situation's a little bit different because obviously I run my own digital marketing company. But one of
Yeah.
the things I was saying in 2020, I released a video ages ago, is I was looking at the historical data, not data, the I guess the facts around what happens during recessions, where
Hmm.
like brands actually invested. So you look at brands like Kellogg's and all those, those other brands, when there were recessions, 1929 crash, whatever, the brands that actually invested in funds and marketing were the ones that had stronger brand equity and were a lot stronger out of the crash. So on
Yeah.
my personal business side, because I don't do any property because I'm focusing on my business, right now we're investing in marketing. So we've hired
Nice.
another full timer. We're not going. We're other brands, and I can see it. And Ahmed, this is the thing. Like as when you trade, like whether you're putting money in for your own business or you're putting investments, you almost have to go against that feeling because you don't want to, because you're scared. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know if I want, but that's what everyone's feeling. And we've spoken about this
Yeah.
many, many
The
times. You do
fear
the
and
opposite of the
yeah.
market,
Yeah.
but that's what you're supposed to do. So I'm actually investing on that side. And on my investment side, the only thing I really invest in is crypto, is I'm DCAing in. But I'm also looking, speaking of, projects that are going to be around forever, on the stock side, I wasn't looking at Amazon. I wasn't looking at Tesla. I wasn't looking at FANG stocks, the Facebooks, Apple, Netflix. I wasn't looking at any of those because they were completely they're so oversold and so mainstream that they have an acronym.
Yeah.
But now I
Yeah.
am
Yeah.
actually looking, like I'm looking, if we do hit a crash and Tesla falls below $500, I'm like, wow, that's a bargain. When you're looking at $1,400 or whatever Tesla used to be, I think it was
Yeah.
more like $1,200. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, but yeah, on a very similar mind frame than yourself, Ahmed, but obviously, different flavors
Quick,
of choice
quick
there.
question. Quick question. You said you're hiring and you're doing more marketing. I thought your good looks were enough for your marketing of your company. Why do you gotta hire
Not
somebody?
that. Sorry, what was that? The what good
I
looks?
I thought your good looks were enough for the marketing side for your
Oh
company.
no, they're not that good looking. even even Kim Kardashian has to work hard. You know what I mean? So I'm.
Oh, remember that? Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah, I get a chance to sometimes get back a movie, so why not? But yeah, guys, that's about it for the segments. The next thing is Marhaba updates. What's going on with Marhaba? Today I'm not gonna I don't have much to show you guys because we're right now taking this chance of bear market and really going hard on
Building.
development, UI UX, and rebranding everything, defining new geographical locations to focus on for marketing. For recently, we've hired another person for just the Arab region, so we can promote our products in specific locations. For example, we have 8 products, so it's not going to be just one thing that we're selling. We're selling each product plus we're selling the entire umbrella. So we're promoting hard on that aspect, and it's just very important because some markets are more prone to be more accepting of this project than some. So it's very important that we focus on those markets first, onboard as many people onto the crypto world, and then onboard them onto our ecosystem, and then from there they can start using. I'm really excited. The UI UX is almost done. I've been seeing the new website, the new look on the Sahal wallet, the new look on Souk NFT. I think we'll tweet out some teasers just for fun, but yes, it's looking phenomenal. It's very urban, it's very crypto, and it just makes it very easy for people to use. We're also changing format, so the way you're flowing through the website, the way you're using the wallet, it's very interactive, and it's gonna be fun for people who are looking for a new wallet that they want to use forever. And I personally think we're almost at that stage where you can move almost all your funds to Sahal wallet confidently. Like from security wise, it's there already, but I'm talking about like from the UI perspective. I think we're almost there, and then after that, you will never need another wallet again if you want to be non-custodial. If you want to be custodial, obviously that's a different thing. You're gonna have to look for a custodial exchange, like Binance and blah blah blah. But yeah, so those are the updates. And yeah, just wanted to let you guys know on that. We've talked about what we're doing for crypto, and we've done the market update. Any last little bit, Moby, that you think you want to leave the audience with before we end the show off?
Nothing we haven't already said. Like you said, great projects build. Great brands. This is the time. Either you're investing in
Yeah,
marketing or you're building. Obviously, Marhaba is a project, so great projects build, and they're the ones that are around for the long term. And yeah, just do your research. Look things up, and we'll see you guys next week.
amazing. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing weekend. Enjoy yourself. Assalamu alaikum.